Okay. Hello, everybody. So my name is Foivos Zakkak. I'm a fellow developer. I'm not a and we will talk about investing for geeks. Please note that I'm a developer. I'm not a financial advisor by trade. So just take it as a friendly talk and not as professional advice. I will be using two presenters because one of them has a pointer and the other one works for chasing slides. So yeah, bear with me. Okay, first, let's say that you are starting your investing journey. And how would that look if we tried to put it in time frame? I believe personally that we should first set some milestones. So for me, the first milestone is to ensure that you have enough to survive. So before even considering investing, of course, we need to make sure we can survive. Then we should better prepare for unforeseen events. So we should put aside some money for emergencies. And this is usually called an emergency fund. And once we also have an emergency fund on the side, we can start spending on things that we like. So we can start enjoying our life. And once we are happy with all this, and we still have money on the side, we can start looking in investing and see how we can make this money work for us and make more money. So what is an emergency fund? As I said before, is some money waiting for an emergency. These need to be in a liquid form, meaning that the moment we need them, we can get access to them. If you have an accident and you need money, you don't want to wait like 2-3 days, I don't know how much it takes, to be able to get the money and use them to get better or whatever you need. Typically, like a rule of thumb, they say that the emergency fund should be worth of 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. What that means is that if something unexpected happens and you no longer have income, you can't work or whatever, you can survive for 3 to 6 months. So you do have time to look for another job, figure out what to do next, and move forward. So your first target should be to get enough money on the side that can get you for 3 to 6 months. Your second target should be to make sure that this emergency fund is always at full capacity. So if something happens and you need to use money from this fund, your first goal the next day that you have income is to restore this emergency fund. And although it might be really hard, you must try to avoid using money from this fund as loans for other needs. For instance, you want to go for a trip or you want to buy something and you're like, okay, I can get this 500 euros out of this fund and I will put them back next month. And because then it's not going to work if you lose your job the next day. Yeah, wrong clicker. So how can we do it? There's a simple method of the 3 buckets. So you can start budgeting. And this method essentially says that when you get your income on your payday, you split it in 3 buckets. The first bucket is for your essential needs. It's the money that you can't live without. It can include rental, groceries, insurance, your electricity bill, whatever expenses you have that are really essential, you can't live without. The second bucket is about savings and debt repayment, if you have debt. And the last bucket is about lifestyle. So the first bucket is survival. The second bucket is like future planning and security. And the last bucket is for enjoying life, fun money, let's say. A typical distribution is like 50% on essentials, 20 to 30% on savings, and 20 to 30% of your salary for lifestyle and fun things. Some tips on how to stick to this plan and make it successful. First, you need to remember that the first person you need to pay when you get paid is yourself. So no matter if you have some obligations or you want to buy something new, the first thing you do is, the moment you get paid, you split the money in the buckets. That ensures that you cover your survival needs and also helps you stick to your saving plans so that you don't overspend on fun stuff. Another good tip is to avoid high interest debt, because high interest debt essentially eats your money. You get money earlier in your life, but you spend more than you think because of the high interest. And the last part is keep tracking your expenses, because this can keep you on track. If for some reason you change your habits and you start spending more, you will immediately notice, and then you can readjust based on your needs and plans. How do you track your expenses? There are multiple ways, multiple options. I personally like Firefly 3. It's a self-hosted web app, so all the data stay on my server, and I do get a nice web experience, let's say. You can use simple desktop applications like Get Home Bank. You can use GNU CAS for more advanced desktop application, Ledger CLI if you are a fan of the command line, or you can even use mobile apps like You Need a Budget or Every Dollar. So now that we have covered how to kind of manage our money and our salary, we can move forward to investing. And I will just talk about very, very, very basic stuff because we don't have much time. So what are your options when it comes to investing? The most popular ones are stocks. Then we have bonds, real estate, precious materials, pension plans, crypto coins. Some people invest in art. Some people invest in startups, venture capitals. There are multiple options, but the most popular ones are, I would say, stocks, bonds, real estate, and precious materials. And the pension plans are also quite popular. So in order to better choose what to invest in, we next need to understand what our investor profile is. And this usually is correlated to our age. So for instance, when we are really young, less than 20 years old, we don't have much money, and we can really live even if we burn them, this few money that we have. So we might be willing to take larger risks. Like I have 50 euro on the side, and I'm going to invest them on this new crypto coin, and I hope that I will make 1,000 times profit in 6 months. That's a risk that at 20 years old, I would be willing to take. But as we grow older, we get more responsibilities, we get more income, and we have more to lose. So usually, we tend to become more conservative. So depending on our age, we diversify our portfolio differently. In this table, we see some suggested splitting of our portfolio. So between 20s and 30s, the suggestion is to invest heavily on stocks. And as we grow older, we reduce the allocation of stocks and move to bonds. Because bonds, although they yield lower interest, they're more stable. And we know that we will get a fixed amount of money in like 6 months or 1 year, depending on the bond. While with stocks, we don't know what happens. A new president gets elected, he says a couple of things, the stock market goes down. A CEO goes out and makes a public statement, creates a new hype, the stock goes up. And this doesn't happen with bonds. So depending on our age And especially as we get closer to retirement, we don't want this fluctuation, because when we get to retirement, our income drops quite a bit, and we probably need the stability of the bonds to make sure we have enough money to survive. So, because it's really, really hard to manage our portfolio and rebalance it and choose which stocks to invest in, like should I invest in NVIDIA, should I invest in Apple, what's going to happen in 10, 30 years, I don't know. There is a very useful investing vehicle called exchange-traded funds that can help us with that. ETFs essentially offer us a cost-efficient access to readily made diversified portfolios by professionals. So somebody else takes care of curating that portfolio and rebalancing it for us. ETFs are traded like stocks, which means that you can go any day the market is open and buy some stocks of ETFs, and you can sell at any time. So you kind of have quick access to your money if you need to, although the idea is to invest for long periods, like more than 10, 20 years. What do ETFs use to diversify the portfolio and decide what to put in there? There are different ETFs that you can choose from, and they track different things. Some of them, the most popular ones actually, track S&P 500, MSCI World, or FTSE All World. The first one essentially tracks the 500 most profitable options in the US, while the other two do something similar but worldwide. So as the economy changes, these change the stocks that are in the ETFs that you buy. And for the last decades, they have been very, very successful. Other ways to invest your money is to select specific sectors. For instance, if you believe that the health sector is going to do much better in the near future or your period of investment, you can invest in ETFs that focus on these sectors. For instance, during COVID, investing on health was a good idea. Then there are ETFs that follow some investment strategy. For instance, if you want to retire on 2050 or 2060, there are ETFs that you can buy, and as time goes by, they will adapt so that you can retire at your target goal. And last, there are money market funds that follow the European Central Bank interest rate, and this is a nice way to get the best interest available that we usually don't see in the Greek banks. So, for instance, in the near past, the ECB rate was close to 4%, and the Greek banks were giving you an interest rate of less than 1%. So you could instead invest on a money market fund and get the better rate. Also, there are socially responsible investing ETFs, which allow you to avoid investing on industries that you don't feel comfortable with. For instance, you might not want to invest on industries creating weapons. Another thing to remember when investing is that timing the market is better than timing the market, because it's really hard for us to see when the price is going to go up or down. It's more important to stay in the market for longer and take advantage of compound interest. So in this plot, we see, with the red line, we see the money accumulation. If we put on the side 100 euro per month and we don't invest them, and we see that over 30 years, we will have accumulated like 36,000 euros. But if we invest this money and we get a 4% annual interest, and we leave this interest in the investment, so we don't take the money out, we see that it grows exponentially, and in 30 years, we almost double our investment. This, of course, doesn't take into account inflation, So if we add the 2% inflation in the mix, then we see that we make about half of that. And I'm out of time, so you can find the slides on the talk, and there are some links in here you can use. There are some info about taxation. Some info about taxation. And you can reach out to me if you have any questions on the break. Thank you very much.